So Jade, sometimes I feel like I don't need to wait till the end of the day to get in my anti-bucket list items or get in my balance and being present. Like sometimes I might need it in the middle of the day when during my work day, I might need a pause, right? Especially if it's back-to-back meetings, giving presentation, high stakes things going on. Do you have any tips for how to do that?
I do. I do. So focus on what brings you joy. And you might be like, okay, it's work. Like, it's not joy, but focus on what brings you joy. So if you're working in an office, you might be able to get outdoors, right? If you like nature, like we were talking about earlier, you might be able to squeeze in a 5-10 minute walk at any time of the day. I mean, a 5-10 minute break is equivalent to going to the bathroom. So there's no excuses. You can get up from your desk and you can remove yourself from the situation, get outdoors, move your body. That's always going to clear your head. Maybe pencil in time to call a loved one, check in with someone that you haven't spoken with in a while on your lunch break, having a quick 10-20 minute conversation with somebody that's good for the soul. That is absolutely something you could work into the day.
Okay.
Or like maybe you're having a tough morning and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get my favorite food for lunch, right? Like pencil in these things that light you up that you can look forward to. I personally am working from home right now, so those things look a little bit different for me. I'm taking the opportunity to jump in the pool on my lunch break. Like I'm literally swimming. I'm getting exercise in the middle of the day. It's hot here in Florida, right? So, or taking the time to walk. I love walking before work. I love taking a midday walk. Yeah, that's really what that looks like in the workplace.
Okay. All right. And that's a good point about remote work because you can get really, really busy and not realize that there's things around you could easily incorporate into your day to help restore more balance.
Yeah.
So I think being more intentional about that is a great thought too. And even if you're in office, like some of the things you said, is there a favorite place you like to go for lunch, having the phone conversation? I love those ideas too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe even like switching up where you work from. Like if you do have a laptop and you are at the office, maybe they have outdoor seating. Go sit at a table outside as long as you can still connect to the Wi-Fi. Take your call from out there, switch up the scenery, like just kind of move the energy so that it's not stagnant. Do
Yeah,
something different so that the day doesn't look the same every single day.
absolutely. Well, we're still on the theme of boundaries. So, what is one small boundary somebody could incorporate to create better work-life harmony? Let's call it.
Yeah, yeah. I think getting strict about your business hours, that's an easy one. You can set a boundary that says after 6 p.m., I'm literally off the clock. And although I have this device that's going to ding and ping and sing all day long, like you don't have to go check those notifications, those emails after a certain time. You actually have the power to do that.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean you won't occasionally have, times where you grind it out, work late for specific projects, deadlines, things you need to get done. But some of us make a habit out of it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I feel like those things should be the exception and not the norm,
not the norm.
unless you're in a line of work where that is needed from you. Otherwise, yeah, let those moments of really leaning in and grinding, let those be the exception in your life and not your everyday.
Yeah. And the remote work thing really makes it tough because the line between work and home is blurred.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like we're not as good at preserving those boundaries when we work from home. Can
Hmm.
you talk a little bit about any rules of thumb to have good boundaries in place for remote workers?
Yeah. Yeah. So everything again comes down to choice, and I'm going to choose what lights me up, what brings me joy. So while working from home, if I have some downtime between meetings or, I have this lunch break and I've eaten in 10 minutes and now I have like a whole hour to myself, do I want to do laundry? That's an option, right? Or do I want to go jump in the pool and take 20 minutes for myself? That's an option too, right?
Yeah.
Um, and when we start chasing the shoulds, I should do laundry. I should get ahead of it, right? Like that is going to lead you straight down a path of burnout. You have to start choosing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about protecting the time on your calendar too? Because, like, for example, you can block off a lunch hour and then somebody books a meeting over your lunch, right? Things like that.
Mhm.
Are there things we can do to better protect that time and space when we're virtual?
Yeah, I mean that is a tough one because you can try to advocate for your time by blocking off your calendar. And like you said, people don't necessarily always honor that, right? Or the lunch hour or the lunch window. Some people like to work right through that and like to bring you along with them. I would definitely say, now depending on who it is that's inviting you, use use the power of no. You're not going to say, no, I won't meet with you, right? But maybe, no, that time's not convenient. You know, is there another time in the day that's better? If you're using Outlook, go look at their calendar and see when they're free, and then tell them, like, okay, well, 4 o'clock's looking good for both of us. Let's aim for that. And I know that's not realistic in every circumstance. You can't always tell your boss no, but you know what? Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can.
Well, I think it's about if you get clarification, get clarity on what the ask is, because I think sometimes we assume when somebody sends a request, depending on who sends it, maybe, right? We assume it needs to be done immediately if it
Yeah,
comes from a particular person. So that's something that we do. We assume if they send us a meeting invite that it's not flexible, right? If it comes
right.
from, especially if you're a people pleaser, right? You're going to adhere to whatever somebody sends over to you and just let that kind of dictate your schedule.
Yeah,
But what I hear you saying is it's not necessarily a no, but getting clarity on prioritization in terms of does it really have to happen at this time, or do we have flexibility to push it off until tomorrow, next week, another slot, right? So that you can maintain your time. And it doesn't just have to be for another work conflict. It can be because you've designated that time for yourself.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Right. And that could be for the purpose of achieving something that you needed to do for the workday on your to-do list. And it
Yeah.
could, you know what, in some circumstances be because you penciled off that time to take care of something personal.
Yeah.
Both things are equally as important. And as you were sharing that, it just reminded me of somebody that I knew in corporate America that loved using that meeting decline button. They had no mercy. Like it was almost like a running joke, right? Because if a meeting didn't work out for them, it was just like a straight decline. It was no like tentative and propose a new time. It was just like, no, I'm not available. And so, like maybe that's harsh. You can't just decline 100% of everything that comes in that doesn't align with what you have going on, but
Yeah.
there's definitely room for flexibility.
Yeah. So for somebody that, this is foreign to them or it's very hard for them to put up boundaries and say no, maybe toe dipping to start could help, right?
Yeah,
Are there some ways that establishing boundaries outside of work can help you get the courage to do it in your work life?
in work life. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, like boundaries are something that we really should implement everywhere we go and everywhere we are. And honestly, I just keep going back to that word no, right? Like I don't have the time, space, energy, capacity to take that on at that moment, right? And again, that no is not even like a final no, I'm never going to help you, I'm never going to do the thing. It's just a at the time that you need this from me at that exact moment, I don't have the capacity to give that.
So it sounds like you're a warrior with these no's, Jade. Like you're just tossing them out left and right. It-
Guilty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're hardcore with these no's. I think everybody's going to determine like what their comfort level is with their no's and the approach. It's not whether or not you say no. It's like how you go about it, right? So
Absolutely.
figure out what works for you. Don't go get fired by saying no just because Jay said said say no. Uh, Keep things in perspective, but the point is advocate for yourself in whatever way is appropriate for the environment and the atmosphere. People respect you more when you advocate for yourself. And the more you are a people pleaser and you keep allowing people to erode your boundaries, the more they will do it. So that said, Jay, I want to talk about legacy, right? So your book, Anti-Bucket List, being present, focusing on the things that really matter in the day to day. How does that for moms, how does that set a new trend and how does that carry forward to the ladies of the future when you stop focusing on these grandiose things and really focus on the day-to-day things that matter and get more present?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that the children are watching and the children are going to emulate what they see. So this is a good opportunity to kind of pause and assess what it is that your child is observing, what it is that your child is seeing, and what it is that your child is going to try to copy and emulate as they step into, their adulthood and their career. And you want to make sure that the message that you are passing to them is that being self-sacrificial is not the answer, right? Like that is not where we want to see them. Yeah, we definitely want to see our children finding and striking balance in their own lives and not going with this culture that has us conditioned to just give all of ourselves, right? And then have nothing else to give to our families, or the people that we love and we want to be able to show up. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they are watching and we're setting an example. Um, and it's important to provide, it's important to, achieve your professional aspirations and do all those
yeah,
things. Um, but keep in mind at what cost and what expense, and don't let the focus on that take away the things that really, really matter,
yeah.
and be to the detriment of you and your family. If we don't protect that space for ourselves and for them, then nobody else will do it.
It's the truth. And we are their first and their greatest teachers, these little kiddos that we're raising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teach them how to advocate for themselves by advocating for yourself.
It's beautiful. Beautifully said. You must have read the Anti-Bucket List book.
I did. I did. I read it. I got it right here. And you should too. Go get it. The Anti-Bucket List. Jade Rae Wink, thank you so much for your time today. I love your book. I know it's going to bless so many different people out there. And hopefully you'll come back and visit sometime.
I would love to come back. Thanks for having me, JC.